Hey, what's up? What's up? What's going on? We're going to start off. This is going to be number 11. I wish this was a top 10, but we just have one extra. So we're just going to make it regular Pikachu at number 11. This is going to kind of be our baseline for what all of the Pikachus or all the Chews should be, um, because it is the weakest. So what can it do? It can carry a light ball. It can use Spark, which in Elite Redux is going to have priority 2 and a 10% chance to paralyze, I believe. Let me just double check that because it's going to be crucial. Yep. 10% chance to paralyze. Um so you can use light ball with either that, or you could run it with extreme speed in this case, or you could run it with also shockwave, which is similar except it does not have the 10% paralysis chance. But I think it has more PP if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it's just strictly worse, but special attacking. Um, in any case, that is a regular Pikachu. It comes with really bad abilities. You get Ground Shock, which is the only good ability it gets, and then you get a whole bunch of, hey, this is an electric type. Let's just give it basic electric abilities. Electric Burst is okay, and Static, which is trash. This thing cannot survive a hit, so why does it get Static? I think, if I'm not mistaken, the old benchmark for Pikachu being so fragile was that a King could one hit KO it with Scratch. That's how frail this thing is. It's got base 35 HP, base 40 defense. Why does it need Static? Granted, in Elite Redux, it does paralyze on offense contact, but again, how often are you going to be wanting to make contact of any sort? So, this is the baseline of the Chew family. Bad abilities, not very impressive. Only thing going forward is Ground Shock. So Ground Shock is kind of like the bare minimum of what we expect to be able to deal with ground types, because aim for the horn, right? From the anime. Just like in Pokemon Ash Journey, where Electric is not very effective against Brock instead of he's immune to it. Same thing goes here. The target is not immune to Electric, but it resists it. All right, so that's our baseline. That's number 11. So, starting our top 10, the worst of outside of our baseline regular Pikachu is going to be regular Cantonian Raichu. Um, this probably shouldn't come as a shock if you saw my top 5 biggest disappointments video. Cantonian Raichu, just a bad Pokemon. Um, there is a ability in this game called Overcharge, and it makes electric type moves super effective against electric types. That is strictly better than just stapling a ground type to a Raichu, because now it has two new weaknesses, one of which neither of its stabs is very effective against. It's resisted by both sides on oh, excuse me, three new weaknesses. I didn't even think about the ice one. Although you can kind of handle that with some of the coverage it gets. You do get Pebble Shower here, but yeah, this is just sort of a bad Pokemon, and you also get Iron Tail. Just a bad Pokemon in general. Having Ground type to deal super effective damage against Electric types is just bad. Okay, you can deal super effective against Steel types, but meh. Um, and then on top of that, if you really want to deal with some electric types, like anything that's got levitate, or anything that's part flying, like Zapdos, you're gonna have to rely on something like Smite, which uh, knocks enemy Pokemon out of the air, right? So it has a smackdown effect. Um, Unfortunately, it does not have the ability that automatically triggers Smite. That would be a lot better than just using Smite, because you just kind of want, or something that would boost Smite's accuracy. Other Pokemon in the Chew family get this. Regular Raichu doesn't get it. Regular Raichu's honestly screwed over by its abilities. Again, it basically gets the same abilities as regular Pikachu. So Ground Shock is its only good ability, and then Static, which is garbage. Search Circuit, which is eh. Electric Burst is okay. Generator, why do I care? And then Earthbound, again, bad. Um, it's not necessarily a It's not necessarily that Earthbound is bad. It's just that it doesn't help with any of the things Raichu actually needs help with. It has 90 in both offenses. Having some type of modifier is cool, but it's not going to change the math that much. Regular Raichu just has a really hard time. I would have loved to see them do something better with it. And I remember I was so lost for thoughts when I was doing the. I didn't have any recommendations when I was doing my biggest disappointments video. When I was talking about Raichu, and now I'm looking at it. I'm like, well, it has a sharp tail. Why didn't they go for something like a keen, was it keen blade or whatever it's called? Not hyper cutter, but hyper cutter could be cool too. Um, keen edge. That's, I think it's called. Like something with that in mind. Um, or a sharp horn or something like something, a mighty horn build or something like. Give it something to do because uh this is just a bad Pokemon. I'm ain't gonna lie. It's the slowest of the Pokemon we're going to talk about besides regular Pikachu, and it's also pretty much the weakest and the frailest besides regular Pikachu. So yeah, Raichu's a really bad Pokemon. All right, now not moving too far away. Number 9, Mega Partner Pikachu. All right, so uh immediately off rip, it uses your Mega Slot. So I'm not sure if you get more than one Mega Slot in this game, but if you only get the one, then that's a terrible thing to do because why wouldn't you just use your Light Ball instead of a Mega Stone? Um, and then you don't get to use Light Ball because you're already using your Mega Stone. Thick Fat is thematic, but not a good reason to lose having Ground Shock and Overcharge as a combo. You can get one or the other. You can't get both. By the way, it's your first time seeing Overcharge. So regular partner Pikachu has both of these available at the same time. So instead of having to pick one or the other, you can use both. But partner Pikachu has to pick between hitting electric type super effectively or hitting ground types at all. And that's not a choice you want to be making, especially when you could have picked Thick Fat to go away. It does get Thunder Call, so that's cool. But again, it's not the ground type. Thunder Call would have been great on Raichu. If you replaced, honestly, if you replaced Static with Thunder Call, Raichu would have been a lot better of a Pokemon. But you didn't. Instead, this Pokemon gets it, and I get it. It's okay. It's got huge power, which does go well with Smite because Smite is physical. Um, I think that's like a 26 power Smite or something like that. But yeah, it's just not a great Pokemon. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. It's not a great Pokemon. Um, not a great Mega. It's if it was a Pokemon just by itself, it'd be okay because it being a Pikachu, you just throw a light ball on it and then it'd be absolutely out of here. That special attack at 135 or the huge power at 85 would just be absurd, and it still is an absurd offensive stat. And it has a little bit of bulk with the special defense, even though that HP hurts. Um, but 535 base stat for your Mega, especially when you account for the fact that it's not going to survive more than 2 hits tops. Not really going to work. It does get Illuminate, so cool. Illuminate goes well with Thunder Call because it does make Smite 100% accurate. Again, this would have been an amazing combo on this guy. Literally, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. If these two literally traded, all they had to do was trade their innate abilities. They just traded one for one, traded innate abilities. They'd both be better. And then this guy would need access to Illuminate. So yeah, trade 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 Electric Burst for Illuminate. They would have both been better. Yep. Um, the only question is, does Raichu need Ground Shock? Uh, because it has Ground Stab. That is a question. Um, I think I would still want to have ground shock in some way, shape, or form. But all right, let's get off of Raichu because I've been on Raichu for long enough. But yeah, Illuminate Thundercall would have been a good ability suite for this guy. Um, I do like Overcharge. I think Ground Shock should have moved over here. Over here, I don't think that fat. I love Fat Pikachu. I love Chubby Chew. I love the memes of like, "Hey, Pikachu went back when it was yeah." The first version of Pikachu was awesome. It was fat. I loved it. But I don't like that as an ability. That's just me though. But that's it. That's what's wrong with Mega Partner Pikachu. You're better off not making it a Mega. It's a better as a regular Partner Pikachu. Oh, one thing you're going to notice about all the Partner Pikachus and the Cat Pikachus is that they do not learn Extreme Speed. Instead, they get access to all of the Partner Pikachu moves. So Splishy Splash, Floaty Flaw, all that stuff. Zippy Zap. Um, and then Pika Pow. So, next up on the list, we're going to go to number 8. So we're gonna hold up. We gotta find it. All right, here's number 8, Rockstar Pikachu. All right, Electric Steel type. Um, no real ability synergy, and it does gain a 4x weakness to ground while it's at it. So, yeah, there's not really much going for this guy. It has some stuff. Steely Spirit for dual battles. It also gains Armor Tail for dual battle. Whoops! I just realized I wasn't recording, and I already moved past the next Pokemon. So, back to what I was talking about. Rockstar Pikachu, bad Pokemon. Overall, 4x weakness, not great Pokemon. This is going to be number 7, Cosplay Pikachu. This is going to be the first good chew on the list. It knows exactly what it wants to do. So it gets an actually good ability suite. It's a electric normal type. It's got 1 immunity to normal, 1 extra weakness to, 1 immunity to ghost, 1 extra weakness to fighting. Normalizing this game, I need to figure out what that does. If it actually hits, if it's like scrapping and lets you hit ghost, then it's amazing. But it doesn't need normalize because with Frisk, it checks foes' items and disables them for 2 turns. So again, this is like the perfect Pokemon for like shutting down an enemy's game plan. Like whatever they are trying to do, it just stops it. It stuffs it. So Frisk disables an item for 2 turns. Pickup. They want to set up all the spikes and all the toxic spikes and all the hazards. Doesn't matter. I don't care about your sneaky pebbles. They're going now. All right. And you can wear heavy duty boots, even though that gets rid of your light ball. You could, if you want to, wear your heavy duty boots and then they don't even affect you. Again, you wouldn't do that because Pikachu's thing is light ball, but you could. Um, Anticipation, since it's super effective moves and blocks 1. So again, this is a Pikachu. It dies to a scratch, even though Partner Pikachu and the cosplays and all those, the special Pikachus all have a higher base stat tool than regular Pikachu, so maybe scratch isn't going to kill it from a slacking. But in any case, it's fragile still, 50-50 for HP and defense. So you don't really want to be getting hit, all right? So if you're going up against a fighting type that sees the KO range with high jump kick, or sphere, you're going up against a ground type that sees the KO range with bulldoze or earthquake. You can use fly to knock out that fighting type. You can use surf to knock out that ground type. Maybe even 2 hit because you have the speed at 120, and you're going to survive 1 hit. So really good. I like anticipation in this game. Unaware, ignores full stat changes again. You just had something set up on you for 15 turns of Dragon Dance and Mystic Dance and all the dances, and it's looking like it's going to sweep you. All right, cool. Here's your nuzzle. Here's a yawn. All right. Yeah. Whatever you thought was going to happen, it's not going to happen. I'm going to beat you anyway. So yeah, it does learn yawn. That's cool. It does learn nuzzle. I'm not sure if Tri-Attack's good. Uh, does it have a 30% chance for each? If it has a 30% chance for each, then it's pretty good. But I digress. Um, yeah, this Pikachu is cool. I like this Pikachu. I'll keep that real. I like this Pikachu. Um, it's the first good chew on the list, like I said. So from here, it's all up and up. There are no more like. I'm not going to really be complaining anymore. These are all going to be good chews from here on out. All right. Next up on the list, we have number 6, which is Pop Star Pikachu. It is an electric fairy type. That changes its resistances and weaknesses a little bit. It gains a weakness to poison, and it gains like 4 new resistances. So that's dope. And it gains immunity to dragon. So that's just talking to how good the fairy type is in general, really, right? Um, so the thing that makes it better than, because it's kind of similar to um, Cosplay Pikachu. The thing that makes it better is that it gains that fairy stab, which is a lot better in my opinion, than just the electric stab or electric and normal. So um, here it has like a ton of ability synergy. I'm just going to talk about some of it. So it gets Pixie Beam, which with its Pixie power, it has 1.2 times accuracy, so it's 100% accurate. And then it gets Serene Grace on top of that. So Pixie Beam, if I cannot accidentally, there we go. Pixie Beam here is base 110 Fairy Stab. With that 20% boost to accuracy, it would be 85%, but it's now 100% accurate. It also has a 40% chance to lower special attack by 2 stages with Serene Grace. So that's its main go-to move right there. That's just like 100% like I'm going for this move, right? That's Hydro Pump, but with 100% accuracy and a high chance to cripple a special attacker. So really, really, really strong go-to move there. And of course, with its fairy uh, ability here, it also gets 30% or a third more, 33% more damage on that outside of stab. Like that's just ridiculously good. And the other thing we're talking about, subdue doubles the stat drop effect, so that's why it's not dropping by 1, it's dropping by 2. And then Serene Grace doubles the chance of secondary effects on its own moves. So ridiculously good. Uh, you can use Pixelate if you want to. I don't see a point. Might as well just use Electrocytes. Yeah. What else do we do here? The reason when you use Electrocytes is because you do get a couple other things here. You get Flash. Flash here is an attack. It has a 50% chance to lower attack. So with Serene Grace, that's a 100% chance to lower attack, and it's also doing what you call it. It's also doing some damage with it. So 100% chance to lower attack and some damage. And then you can use either Electro Web, which with that subdue ability is basically a -2 speed drop every time it hits. Or you could use Thundershock, which in this game is 80 base power, 30% chance to paralyze. Or you use Discharge, which is basically identical to Thundershock, except it hits a spread. So it hit everything, which could be a downside in double battle if your partner is not immune to electric attacks. But if your partner is immune, then it's just upside. So a lot to think about, a lot to chew on here. It doesn't have very good. It's not very good against ground types, especially if they can survive one of its Pixie Beams. But if they can't survive, or if they're not able to outspeed its Pixie Beam, I mean, this Pixie Beam is pretty much a one-shot to a lot of things if it's using a light ball. So again, don't deny that power. Don't forget that power. It still has the power to do that. So yeah, Pop Star Pikachu, really strong Pokemon. It's up there. It's up there. All right. Next on the list, number 5. We're getting to the top 5 now. Pikachu Libre. All right. So why is Pikachu Libre so high up? Well, let's just talk about No Guard. All right. No Guard. Attacks used by on this Pokemon bypass accuracy checks. It has No Guard, High Jump Kick, and Smite. Stab. Both. Both of those are stab. High Jump Kick. Base 130, you know what it is. All right. Smite. Base 120, you know what it is. And it knocks things out of the air and onto the ground. Granted, this thing doesn't really care about ground game. Again, this is where Raichu could have been having something that modifies accuracy could have been useful, but it didn't get that. So, because it didn't get that, it just kind of sucks. And I would say this: it really just needs that. it's really just that. It does have Scrappy for Ghost, so that's neat, and it also makes it immune to Intimidate. And yeah, that's about it. It may have difficulty against ground types, especially because ground types have high defense. But just about every version of Pikachu has difficulties against ground types. The best they can do is really run Surf for it. Next up on the list, number 4, Pikachu Ph.D. Yeah, so the Ph.D. Pikachu, it kind of gives away its electric abilities to be more of a psychic type, and that's cool. That's cool because we've seen that with Pikachu Libre being theoretically more of a fighting type, or Pop Star Pikachu being more of a fairy type, and then depending on how Cosplay Pikachu goes with the normalized, it could be more of a normal type. So, and arguably Rockstar Pikachu is more of a steel type because of it wanting to click the same button over and over again. So PhD Pikachu is actually really good at spamming psychic type moves. It gets Tinted Lens, and it gets Inner Focus, which gives it Focus Blast, Never Missing, which lets it cover its ground type, or excuse me, its dark type, whatever it misses there. So realistically, in order for something to really push it as a psychic type, that thing would have to be 4 times resistance to psychic, so like Metagross or such, right? And again, Metagross doesn't necessarily want to get hit by a Light Ball boosted Focus Blast, especially twice, because this thing is faster than I think Mega Metagross. So yeah, Psychic Mind gives you a little bit more oomph behind those attacks, and then Forewarn allows you to cast a Future Sight on the way in, or you can use Emanate if you want to, or you can use Electrosights if you want to. But realistically, your main job here is to just spam Psychic, and that's about it. Spam Psychic. You don't really need to do anything else. You're not really going to use a physical moveset on this just because of Focus Blast. If you get 100% accurate Focus Blast, then there's no reason to go physical. So this is a special attacker. Very simple. A lot of times the Kiss Roll applies. Unlike with Pixie Pikachu or Pop Star Pikachu, I don't have to talk you through all the things that make this good. This is just good out the box. It hits hard, with very good coverage, to say the least. All right, number 3 is going to be Partner Pikachu. By the way, all the Cat Pikachus are identical to Partner Pikachu, including their ability to Mega Evolve into Partner Pikachu Mega, or Mega Partner, rather. So these are all going to have the same abilities, stat layout, all that, moveset, all that. So Partner Pikachu is number 3 because it gets a really strong combination of abilities. It gets the ideal combination of abilities for an electric type, which is Overcharge and Ground Shock. Those two things together mean that you literally only have to click one button, and that is your electric type move. Um, Against a grass type or a ground type, you can swap to using fly, surf, whatever. But they're not just going to swap in on you and just like, they're not going to swap in on you and take advantage of you, right? Like, you're going to hit that ground type. It's not just going to negate your attack. Electric type, grass type, it's like whatever. Electric type swaps in on you. If a Zapdos swaps in on you, it's dead. Thunderous, dead. So there's a lot of things that don't want to swap in on you anymore. With that combination, and you could just throw stuff out there. You can be very confident in your button clicks that are electric type button clicks. And to back that up, you do get electric slides and short circuit. Again, this is just extra damage, but when all you're doing is clicking the electric type button, that's good enough. You don't need more than that. The only way this could be better with what's on the board is if you swapped out, like, let's say, probably electrocytes for electric burst, so that I could just do even more damage. Or yeah, short circuit for electric burst, so you can do more damage. But realistically, you don't need to do all that. Like, yeah, that is an ideal setup for abilities for a pure electric type. So it goes hard. I ain't gonna lie, it goes very hard. And that's why I put it above its mega form, because its mega form gives this up for thick fat, and I don't, yeah, whatever. And it also can hold a light ball. So that's another thing about the partner Pikachus, is that they can hold light ball. All right, Pikachu Belle. Number 2, Pikachu Belle. So we're getting to the end of the list. This is the strongest version of Pikachu overall, but it's not the strongest Chew in the game. It's just the strongest Pikachu in the game. It's an electric ice type, so it gets Bolt Beam Stab. It gets a 25% boost to water type attacks as well from Deep Freeze. This is another version where it's going to be more of an ice type than an electric type. It gets 2 immunities. It gets an immunity to water, and it gets an immunity to the ice. So if you, I don't know if it'll show here, it shows the immunity to water here, but it doesn't show the ice immunity. But if you use Ice Dew, it will be immune to ice as well, and it will use that to make itself stronger. It also halves damage taken by special moves with ice scales. So again, Pikachus are normally pretty frail, so being able to survive a hit, nice. And then, yeah, it gets freeze dry. So a lot of what Pikachus can't handle without hidden power or secret power, which is like the physical hidden power in this game, is the water absorb, water ground types. But with freeze dry, you can just straight up one-shot them, because they're 4 times weak to freeze dry. Yeah, that's about it, honestly. Between freeze dry, surf, I mean, yeah, you really don't have too many weaknesses here. This is just a really strong Pokemon. Again, base 120 speed, light ball, base 75 special attack. You're not having too many issues. If you need to, you don't even have to run a flying type move this time, because it has ice as its coverage. It's Bolt Beam with water, slight stab on water, like half stab on water. It's a good Pokemon. It's a very good Pokemon. It's probably, I would say this is probably, it should probably make your team if you want to use any version of Pikachu. This should probably be the one that you're using if you just want to use a Pikachu, because in my opinion, it's the best Pikachu in the game. All right, but as far as the best Chew in the game, Chew overall goes, all right, we got to go all the way back to the top. So there we go. Alolan Raichu. So I'm not going to say it's a strictly better Ph.D. Pikachu, because even though it and Ph.D. Pikachu share the same type, Ph.D. Pikachu is much more of a psychic stab user. It's much more of a psychic type than Alolan Raichu. Alolan Raichu is much more of an electric type. What do I mean? It gets Electro Surge, which casts electric terrain on entry, so now it's getting an extra 50% damage from that electric, an extra 50% damage to its stab. Right? And then it also sets up for Quark Drive users, so all of your future Paradox friends, this is the perfect setup for them. It also gets Surge Surfer still, which means that it basically gets a free scarf that doesn't lock it into a move, and it sets up for it. And then it gets Levitate. So now it's not even going to be hit by ground type moves. This is stupid. Like, it's technically slower than all of the Pikachus that we went over besides the basic Pikachu, but it's also faster than all of the other Pokemon on this list because it gets Surge Surfer, and it's the only one that's immune to ground type damage because of Levitate, and on top of that, it still gets Ground Shock as an innate. You don't even have to choose between Electro Surge and that. It's just there. It's just like, yeah, you get that for free. And even if it didn't get that for free, it would still be able to hit those ground types with Psychic. And it's not actually scared of ground types because of Levitate. Like, this is such a ridiculously, I'm not going to say overtuned, it's just so much better than all the other Raichus, all the other Pikachus on this list. Like, regular Raichu is has nothing going for it. Nothing at all. Not a single thing is going for regular Raichu. But Alolan Raichu, hoo-wee! This boy is cooking with grease. Cooking with grease. Like, stupidly good Pokemon here. Alright? Look, that's all I really got to go over. It's got all gold abilities. Like, there is not a wasted ability slot here. Like, yeah, sure, you won't use Short Circuit and you won't use Psychic Mind. So what? It doesn't need those. Why would you ever use those if you get Electro Surge? Why would you ever in your life use those if you're getting Electric Surge? You don't need the other two abilities. You got Electric Surge. That sets up this. Yeah, this is just a good Pokemon. That's all it comes down to. You spam your Electric Stab, you'll be fine. Just spam your Electric Stab. And here. If you up against Electric type, or you go up against a Dragon type, or if you go against a Ground type, and you're still going to hit them one time and do some damage with your electric move, you just use your Psychic Stab. You get Psychic Stab too. Yeah, you use your Psychic Stab, and you get Extreme Speed for all your trouble. Like, this is just a good Pokemon. It's just a good Pokemon. I hate to say it, it's just a good Pokemon. You get Psyshock too if you want to deal some damage to Chansey and Blissey. Like, this is just a good Pokemon. So, that's about it for this list, honestly. I honestly want to just spend more time talking about what they could have did to fix my boy here. Like, good lord, they did this boy wrong. Oh, man. Like, Thunder Call would have helped dramatically. It needs Thunder Call. We can just get rid of Static. Static is trash. You could easily just 1-for-1 replace Static with Thunder Call. That helps. We can keep Ground Shock. Short Circuit can go. Short Circuit for Illuminate, I think. And you have to worry about its speed too. There's so much wrong with it. Like, you have to deal with its speed and all that. Yeah. Like, its speed isn't terrible, but it's not Surge Surfer speed. And it's also not getting the boost from laying down terrain when it comes in. How can we fix this thing? Use Mighty Horn, then you're making it a physical attacker. So I don't want to just shoehorn it into being a physical attacker. Yeah, There's a lot to think about when it comes to regular Raichu. The one thing I know for sure is that Thundercall is definitely like needed, because why give it the ground type if it's not going to be able to combo its electric type attack directly into a ground type attack? You know what I'm saying? Like if I hit a Gliscor or a Zapdos with an electric type move, I want to follow that up with ground. Yeah. That, so Thunder Call isn't necessary, but then if you're using Smite, Smite can miss. So now you want to use Illuminate or something to make it more accurate. Can't be Compound Eyes, can't be Keen Eye really. So yeah, I think it would have to be Illuminate. Illuminate can go on the chosen ability side though. Short Circuit needs to get replaced too. Short Circuit's a bad innate. Short Circuit needs to get replaced. Overcharge? It gets ground type. I think Overcharge is overkill. Like, Overcharge is strictly better, but at the same time, if it gets ground type, there's no point in giving it Overcharge. Can't give it Levitate. What works here? Tough Claws makes it a physical attacker. I need to look at some other electric types. That's what we'll do. Look up some electric types. Maybe we'll get inspired. Look up some other electrics. There we go. Alright. What are these dudes working with? Magnet Pull, no. Galvanize, what's Galvanize do? Electric types become normal type moves, become electric. With Smite and Fake Out, that could actually be decent. That could actually be decent with Smite and Fake Out. Oh, not Smite and Fake Out. Extreme Speed and Fake Out. I could see that being good. Yeah, so Galvanize is up there. So if it was running, let's say, Galvanize here, Thunder Call here, Ground Shock, and then as a choosable ability, keep Electric Burst. Electric Burst is like the only good thing it gets on that side, I think. Earthbound, I'm not sure. One of these two needs to get replaced with Illuminate. I probably need to look at some ground type stuff to see what would make sense to keep for ground. Replace the generator with Illuminate though, because it has enough electric type stuff going on. Yeah, right. Thunder Call, Ground Shock. What do we say? Galvanize, Electric Burst, Illuminate, and it needs one ground type ability. I think Earthbound is a little too weak for it. Like, so let's look at what we got here. Loose Quills? No. Stamina? No. What is Battle Armor? Doesn't make sense. Sheer Force? No, you don't want to lose your special abilities. Sand Rush, Arena Trap, Sand Force. Maybe Sand Force? Sand Force. I think Sand Force makes sense. That kind of compensates for it losing its Light Ball. I like Sand Force, yeah. Well, just a couple more things. Parry, no. Oh, that would make no sense. It's all fighting. Or fire, excuse me. Grip pincer. That'll make sense though. Sandveil. No. Sand card? What does that do? No. Earth Eater. Ooh, Earth Eater would be nice. Okay, Earth Eater. Earth Eater for sure. So its pick-me's would be instead of Earthbound, Earth Eater. Instead of Generator, Illuminate, and then Electric Burst for electric damage. And then here, Short Circuit could be replaced with crap, I forgot what I was talking about before. I know I said Static should be replaced with Thunderclaw. What was Short Circuit supposed to get replaced with? Galvanize. That's right. Galvanize for Short Circuit. Yeah. That would be a serviceable Raichu. That would be a Raichu that's actually able to get something done. Like, it makes all kinds of sense. Like some of those Pikachus make sense. Like the Ice Pikachu, Pikachu Belle, or all those Pikachus made sense. This Raichu wants to do something, and I just think it's bad at doing those things. But it could be better. So yeah, Earth Eater would definitely make sense here. Illuminate would make sense. So you get to pick between being immune to ground or having your smites actually hit, like reliably, or dealing more damage with your electric attacks, which have the benefit of ground shock. And then you could also get a little bit of boost from Galvanize. And then you also have Thundercall over here, so that's why you might want Electric Burst instead for the raw damage. But you can just pick what you want. That would be a really good Raichu setup. That's how I'd fix Raichu. Because right now it's just terrible. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. And that's not disrespectful to again, great mod. Author did a bang up job on this mod. Look at all these Pokemon. Look at all he did an amazing job, right? So that's not disrespectful at all. It's just my opinion. I'm just a guy. I'm not talented at this, right? I'm just a guy with a microphone and time, right? So that I'm a fan. That's just how I feel. Raichu should definitely have Raichu should definitely have some changes, though, in my opinion, because it's just too weak. Again, out of all of its abilities, like, it's basically Electric Burst and Ground Shock are the only two that are actually any good. Everything else is like, why does it get this? Okay, that's meh. Okay, that's meh. And yeah, like, what is this? It could do more damage. Okay, cool. 20% more damage. Everything gets that. What is it? What actually makes it, like, functionally, mechanically good? Not very many things. So that's all I got. As always, I've been me, you've been awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit the like button, subscribe, all you guys on YouTube. All the things that make the algorithm happy make me happy, even though I'm not getting paid for this. So, peace.